Last summer, I inherited my grandfather's lakeside cabin, a peaceful, rustic getaway that had been in our family since the 1960s. It wasn't fancy, but it had charm. Hand-built dock, wood stove, and the kind of quiet you only find when you're miles from city life. I had just started fixing it up and decided to take a 2-week trip to visit family out of state. Before leaving, I locked every door, left motion sensors on, and even put up a private property, no trespassing, sign at the trailhead that led to the cabin. No one, aside from a few neighbors in the HOA, knew I was gone. About 5 days into my trip, I got a weird notification from a short-term rental site. Someone had requested to book my cabin. Strange, since I'd never listed it. I dismissed it as a mistake, until I got another inquiry the next day. Now I was suspicious. I logged into the site, created an account, and searched the listings in my area. Sure enough, there was my cabin, same furniture, same lake view, even the old red canoe tied to the dock. The listing was titled Cozy Lakeside Getaway, managed by local host. I scrolled down and nearly dropped my phone. The host name, Karen M. That would be Karen Mitchell, the self-proclaimed president of the HOA, the same woman who once told me my shed was an eyesore and tried to fine me for using non-regulation curtains. I cut my trip short and drove through the night, arriving at the cabin just after 7 a.m. I parked quietly and walked up the gravel path. As I approached, I saw unfamiliar tire marks in the dirt and a rental car parked next to the cabin. Through the front window, I saw two guests inside, eating cereal like they belonged there. Furious, I knocked firmly. A startled couple opened the door, clearly confused. They said they'd booked it through Karen and had already paid for the weekend. I explained that I was the owner, and this was private property. To their credit, they packed up and left immediately, apologizing the entire time. I called the sheriff and filed a report. Just 30 minutes later, Karen pulled up in her golf cart, waving her phone around and yelling, "You're trespassing! I already called the police!" I stared at her. "I called the police, Karen. You've been illegally renting out my cabin." She froze. "You have no proof," she stammered. I showed her screenshots, guest messages, the live listing, and even her name listed as the host. Her face went pale. She tried to spin it, said she thought the cabin had been abandoned and that she was managing it as part of the HOA beautification initiative. Apparently, she'd been entering the cabin while I was gone, cleaning it, staging it, and listing it as her own, all while pocketing the rental money. By the time the deputy arrived, I had everything: ownership documents, security camera logs showing her entering the property without permission, and the fake rental listing. She was hit with multiple charges, including trespassing, fraud, and unlawful rental activity. But it didn't end there. The rental site banned her. The HOA board, which was already sick of her power plays, held a special vote and stripped her of her position. Several members even apologized to me in person, saying they had no idea she'd stoop that low. I spent the rest of the summer at the cabin, finally enjoying it without interruption. I replaced all the locks, added cameras, and even installed a bright red "Not for Rent" sign near the dock. As for Karen, she moved out 3 months later after putting her house on the market, probably because word had gotten around about her side hustle. Funny thing, when she listed her home, I found that one on a rental site too. Old habits die hard, I guess.